Hi, cat. Come and get some mango, baby.
One, two, 1, 2, 3. Self-awareness is a superpower. My name is KathyLaDonna. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. I hope the free thinkers are doing well. And if you're not doing well, I'm happy to remind you that you are the most powerful person that you know. You are the most powerful person that you know because only you can create your reality. So this is the full moon in Virgo reading that is happening on February 24th, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this video is 5 things that I would like to share with you when it comes to this full moon energy. Of course, this is part 1 of the full moon video. Part 2 is available on Patreon, and the link to check that out is in the description box below, but make sure you don't miss out on this first. So when it comes to the 5 things I would like to share with you, the first thing is the numerology. So the numerology, so February, we are in the month of February. This full moon is happening February 24th. And when it comes to say this being the, full moon in Virgo happening within an 8th year in a 2nd month, and then the year plus the month adds up to the number 1 energy. So let me focus on one thing at a time because I could see my mind jumping around at so many different things. So let's first start with the year. The year 2024 adds up and reduces the number 8 vibration. So this year is ruled by Saturn energy. And with us being in an 8th year, the number 8 is a systematic energy. So within an 8th year, this is where we find ways how to make the systems of our lives better, and all aspects of our lives is ran from some kind of a system. Even if the system doesn't work that well, even if the system is a mess, all aspects of our lives is running from some kind of a system. So within the 8th year, this is where we figure out ways how to evolve the system, or we completely scrap it and, create something new within that place. So with the full moon in Virgo energy, something is coming to an end when it comes to maybe health system, because Virgo deals with health, just to name a few things, or even say social systems as far as how we serve humanity. So the number 8 aspect brings that. February is the 2nd month. The number 2 is nurturing energy. The number 2 is mothering energy. The number 2 is cohesive energies, unifying energies, where 2 becomes 1. This is where we make a better team opposed to working separately. So the number 2 energy from the month of February brings a cooperative, unifying energy to the month. And February 2024 adds up and reduces the number 1 vibration. So this brings a fresh start, a new beginning when it comes to the month. So even though something is ending, of course, the ending is the beginning. So there's always a reason to celebrate. So something is falling apart, but something was already ready to replace that thing that's falling apart. So when it comes to the day of the full moon is the 24th. The number 24 deals with groups, security, stability, and community. So the number 2 deals with, say, 2 coming together, like I said, bringing people, unifying, connecting. It's nurturing, it's mothering. The number 4 is stability, it's security, it's the foundation, it's the start of the foundation. And then 2 plus 4 is 6. So it's something about community, responsibility. So I don't know this for sure, but just from the energies, I feel like there might even be, like, say if there were groups or funding or situations for mother, child, and families, it's almost like something to that is getting cut or getting restricted, or something is stopping pertaining to that, because the Virgo energy full moon, the number 2 deals with mothers, women, nurturing. The number 4 is the foundation, the stability, the building block of something. And then 2 plus 4 is 6. So 6 could be shelters, something about shelters, home, families, something changing pertaining to shelters, pertaining to homes, pertaining to families. 24 could also, like personally in our own personal life, could also deal with, you know, us as individuals, our connections, and the foundation that we build our relationships on, the foundations that we build our friendships on, the foundation that we build our homes, our communities on. So the energies in the day adds up and reduce the number 7 vibration. So the number 7 is an introspective energy. The number 7 energy is ruled by Neptune. So if I went over all the other numbers, the year 2024 adds up to number 8. That's ruled by Saturn. So Saturn is that demolition energy. We're tearing down what's not working to rebuild. The number 2, February, is ruled by the moon. The number, the 24, 2 is the moon again. And then the number 4, Uranian energy, security, stability, freedom, innovation. And now we go to the number 7, the energies in the day adds up and reduce the number 7 vibration. And that's ruled by Neptune. So with Neptunian energy, there's a level of escapism. But I feel like when it comes to this full moon, for some of us, it's like something is coming to an end. And we might find ourselves having a hard time accepting the reality of this thing that's coming to an end. Or with the Neptunian energy of the number 7, we're seeking some kind of a truth. Like I think of like conspiracy. So it's like something comes to an end and there's something so unbelievable about it to where it's like, you know, the views on it might seem somewhat of like a conspiracy. The full moon is at 5 degrees, and the number 5 energy deals with sudden and unexpected changes. Very similar to Uranian energy, but the number 5 is connected to Mercury. So there's something about information. When I think about Mercury, Mercury does have somewhat of a Uranian aspect to it in the sense of its ability to go from one extreme to the next, your mind's ability to go from one extreme to the next. It's like Mercury being the messenger of the gods and Mercury being able to go to the underworld and then also to making it up to the heavens. So it's like our mind's ability to go to the darkest thought and then to the most beautiful, loving thought. So when it comes to say this full moon, it's like it feels like there's this sudden and unexpected change. Sudden and unexpected change or ending that took place. But if we are honest, there's something that led up to it. So within the world, we could see something happen. And it's like all of a sudden, because of this sudden event, you know, we have to cut this, and that, or this, and this, and that has to change. And we'll feel like, oh, you know, it's this sudden turn of event that created this situation. But no, things been working their way up to it. We just haven't been looking in all the right places. So when it comes to the second thing that I want to share with you when it comes to this full moon energy is, what is a full moon in Virgo? So first of all, a full moon is when the sun and the moon oppose each other at the exact degree. Right now, the sun and the moon are opposing each other at 5 degrees. The sun is in Pisces, the moon is in Virgo. So when you think of Pisces, Virgo aspect, think of medical, but not medical in the traditional sense. Think of healing, think of service, think of helping. So when you think of healing, helping, medical, all of that, Pisces is the metaphysical way of healing a person, and Virgo is the practical way of healing. But both things need to come into play in order to make things happen, in the sense that you think of situations where a person may have had cancer and they remove the cancer, but it keeps growing back because something needs to be addressed as far as the Piscean energy, something in the subconscious mind, because Pisces rules the subconscious mind. So there might be a subconscious belief, what I would call a default setting, a natural way of us thinking or seeing ourselves in the world. So there's something that needs to be addressed in that, so that when the physical thing is done on the Virgo side, you know, everything can balance out. But I've heard someone say from the movie The Secret, when something is incurable, it's because it's cured from within. And I feel like the cured from within is the Pisces side, where it's like, you know, us addressing our thought processes and things like that. I remember one time I was doing this deep meditation, and I was curious to understand like diseases and illnesses and how they start. And I remember in the meditation, I was told that it first starts in the mind. It's like every illness, every situation first starts in the mind. And it made so much sense to me because when I started studying numerology, I remember always observing my clients in the salon that were associated with the number 2. And whenever anything happened to them that was a little bit too much overwhelming, a little bit too overwhelming, maybe their partner and them got into an argument, or someone yelled at them or something like that, it's like it always resulted in them catching a cold. So it's almost like something stressed them out emotionally, and then their defense, it's like their immune system automatically just like, you know, it's almost like the emotional stress was so much to where it's like the emotional stress was so much to where instead of the immune system going to guard the gates, it was too busy consoling the person. So instead, it's like they were more susceptible to catching colds and things like that, because really, like, you know, they were really sad or something really affected them in that way. So through that meditation, when my meditation said to me, like, all illnesses first start in the mind, like, I thought that was interesting, but my observation of the numerology confirmed that to me. So when I think of like a full moon in Virgo, it's like, you know, the Pisces energy is the subconscious energy, the things that we think that we're probably unconscious of. But if you want to see your unconscious thoughts and beliefs, just look at your world. Look at like the world you've created up until this point. And it's hard for some of us to accept, but it's like, yeah, it's the unconscious thoughts that we're unaware of. That's like little soldiers or workers building our reality around us. And then we look around and it's like, how did this happen? And it's really all happening with our permission, but it just doesn't feel that way. So with the moon in Virgo, full moon brings something to an end, or something evolves to the next level. So with the full moon in Virgo, this is where for someone, you know, something might come to an end when it comes to their work schedule. Something comes to an end. Yeah, something might come to an end when it comes to a person's work schedule. Maybe someone, their schedule transforms in a major way. And especially if you have Virgo sun, moon, or rising, you might realize that is the case for you, where something shifts majorly when it comes to your everyday life work schedule. Maybe you've been off for the longest and you now finally have a job. So now your days look so different. And this doesn't have to be Virgo rising, sun, moon, or anything. Just collectively, some of us could experience that, but you know, your day-to-day life just looks completely different. I think about how when we had the lockdown, that caused certain people's day-to-day life to look completely different, where instead of going into an office, now they were staying at home. So something can happen with some of us where there's a major shift when it comes to that. Or something can happen where something comes to an end. Maybe someone was struggling with a health situation that they couldn't make sense of, or they couldn't understand, or they couldn't get to the bottom of, and finally that thing goes away. It's almost like a cloud passing in the sky, and the cloud has been there for so long to the point that you got used to it being there, and then one day it moved on and the sky is so clear. So that could be a thing when it comes to, say, the full moon in Virgo, and something comes to an end. But something can come to an end as far as our day-to-day schedule, the services that we offer to others, or the services that are available to us. When it comes to the third thing that I want to share with you about this full moon energy is about the challenges. And the challenges to me when it comes to this full moon is that big opposition that we could see being made to the moon, not just with the sun, but with Mercury and Saturn energy. So the opposition being made to the moon, to me, brings me to the practicality of Virgo. And with Virgo being so practical and always needing tangible examples or tangible, I think of Virgo as an energy that is like perfection. And in order for something to be perfect, we have to be imitating something that is. So I think of Virgo as like the teacher's pet, in the sense that this is the part of us that was presented certain images or things as far as what we need to aspire to in this life. And then we beat ourselves up and try to imitate those things. And even though we work so hard, the results that we're seeing for our actions isn't even enough. Or another thing I see with this is like, say how when it comes to weight loss, how 80% of the weight loss comes from the foods that we actually eat and only 20% comes from the physical workout. Where with Virgo energy, we would think that 80% of our weight loss will come from the actual workout and only 20 would come from the food, when it's actually the other way around. So I feel like that 80% food is like that Pisces energy. That's the information we're consuming, or the food we're actually consuming. So let's say we're talking about success now, where 80% of our success comes from the foods that we're consuming. And it doesn't mean literal foods that we're eating, but that might play a part into it, but also information that we're consuming, which is the Pisces energy. And then 20% of the success comes from the hard work, which is the Virgo energy, where with Virgo, the practical sides of ourselves have a hard time accepting that reality, because we were conditioned to work real hard. Even though we'll work real hard, we'll have nothing to show for our hard work, because that bigger percentage, that Pisces energy, that visualization, that imagination, all of that is missing and needs to be incorporated. But at the same time, if we lean too much into the Pisces energy, that's where the whole faith without works is dead. So we need a nice, healthy balance of both energy. And probably not at once, but at different times. So with this full moon in Virgo, to me, the challenge is accepting the reality that, you know, the physical, the non-metaphysical things that we can't see plays a bigger part in our reality than we would like to give it credit. So I think of, like, say, you know, the person who's not well, and they're getting up every day and they're drinking their teas and their supplements and things like that, but they're not working on managing their stress. They're not conscious on the groups that they associate themselves with, or the people that they're associating with, and the stress that they get from engaging in the conversations or the things they engage in on a day-to-day basis. So even though they're taking their medicine and they're drinking their teas and things like that, the stress that they're going through within their mind on a day-to-day basis pretty much stops them from getting better. You know, to me, with this full moon energy, it's like something come in and we realize that we need to create a balance between the subconscious mind and our everyday actions. When it comes to the fourth thing that I want to share with you guys is, or also too, let me jump back to the third thing. So I moved too fast. So the third thing that I want to, also within the third things, which is the challenges, I want to speak on the square that's being made to Taurus from Aquarius. So the square that's being made from Taurus to Aquarius, which is Pluto conjunct Mars and Venus in Aquarius, squaring Uranus conjunct Jupiter in Taurus. The square that's being made brings me to fixed energy. Fixed energy in the sense, like with Aquarian energy, we have these fixed thoughts and fixed way of seeing and being and doing. And these fixed thoughts, seeing, and way of being and doing is challenging and getting in the way of our ability to create more security, stability for ourselves, and have freedom in the process of doing so. So it brings me to, when it comes to challenge, how we have to shift or be more flexible when it comes to our mindset, and know, you know, I guess not being so fixated on anything, being, and when I think about it, when we're so fixated on our beliefs and our thought process, I feel like that comes from a place of fear. When it comes to the challenge, something about that needs to be addressed. And that brings me to the fourth thing. So when it comes to the fourth thing, I think of unexpected things that will come up when it comes to this full moon energy. So I already mentioned one unexpected thing might be someone's health situation finally being going away and not just disappearing all of a sudden. It's like someone having a rash on them and all of a sudden they wake up and the rash is not there anymore type of situation. Or all of a sudden there's a major shift when it comes to your work schedule. Also, unexpectedly within the world, there might be some kind of, it feels like a good situation though. Unexpectedly, I feel like something might present itself that creates some kind of an offer or more support for homes and families. Some kind of shift when it comes to something pertaining to homes and families, creating the opportunity for people to create more security and stability for themselves. Like the word legacy building is coming to mind. It's almost like, say before, things were so stressful where a person wasn't able to properly secure certain things for themselves and their families because maybe they were going from paycheck to paycheck, but it's like something presenting some kind of opportunity that creates more freedom or security or stability, like more benefits or even some kind of a welfare type of situation for families who need it. So something shifting when it comes to that. Yeah, something shifting when it comes to that. And I guess that would bring me into like the blessings, which is the fifth thing. So the blessings here is that something does come to an end when it comes to like the mundane day-to-day work life, but something else replaces it. Also to the blessings when it comes to this energy is the freedom, something around financial freedom, security. So something that comes to mind is like, say something happens and we hear news about something about homes maybe, yeah, something about would that go that way? Something about homes and families. I remember when I was speaking about the numerology, I was talking about looking into something about homes and families and the foundation and the security and the stability pertaining to that. I feel like looking at the aspects being made to the moon, from the moon to the moon in Virgo to Jupiter conjunct Uranus in Taurus to the sun conjunct the Mercury and Saturn and Pisces. It's like some kind of an aid to families, woman family. And, not even necessarily on a worldly level. Like, you might be, within your family, you might see within this full moon, something does come to an end, but an opportunity or something presents itself to lighten the load, some kind of a financial load or security or stability for your home and family. When it comes to the blessings with this full moon also, to me, something shifting when it comes to health. Something shifting when it comes to someone's health, or even the blessing is someone realizing that the way how they've been doing things has to come to an end. That whole rash thing, maybe for someone else, you've been having a rash on your arm, and that rash on your arm might have something to do with the liver and the different foods that you're consuming and your body not being able to process the things you're consuming well. And you come to the realization that, okay, the way I've been consuming things and the way I've been using my body hasn't been in the most loving way, and I need to make a change and stop feeding my flesh and instead start feeding my soul. And you come to a certain realization, and that's a blessing, because then there's a shift. Because with this full moon energy is very introspective. It's one where you're very reflective on everything that's happening around you and wanting to know the reason why. This isn't the kind of full moon where it's like something comes to an end and someone says this is why and you take it. Like, you have to go and investigate, research for yourself and make sense of things for yourself. And I feel like that's beautiful. That's the way it's done. Like, you should never take my word or anyone's word for anything. Like, you hear what people say and then you go pick up whatever it is that you need to pick up, look into it for yourself, but then also filter it through your own discernment system and see if that's the truth for you, or see if that's a fact for you, or see if that works for you. But like, yeah, when it comes to this full moon energy, I do love the fact that, you know, with us being in an 8th year and systems are falling apart as new ones are taking its place, something about, you know, the day-to-day work system, health system, something about that big thing about health system, work system. So maybe some laws are being pushed that's more supportive of, say, you know, if you're sick, you're able to get paid while you're, like, something to that. I'm sure, I know there are people who have sick leave and things like that, but there's something about that could be improved, and something better is taking its place. This full moon just feels like something's coming to an end, but it's very beneficial for homes and families, for mothers, families, homes, families, and even shelter situation. Not just mothers, fathers also benefit, but there's something family oriented and health related about this full moon. And something does come to an end unexpectedly, but something better is going to take its place, is what I'm getting. Such a pleasure sharing this message with you. If you'd like to book a natal chart awareness coaching session with me, or check out part 2 of this, available on Patreon, along with other exclusive contents on Patreon, where you could also become a part of the monthly meetup group. The links to book with me and join Patreon are in the description box below. Before you go anywhere, please let me know you're here with me by dropping me a pink heart in the comment box below. I would love to hear from you and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.